Be me, 29-year-old diversity trainer. Got my master's in sociology back in 2019. Spent years working nonprofit before switching to corporate workshops. Basically teaching companies how not to be problematic. Got really good at it during the protests. Companies throwing cash at anyone with the right credentials. Land this sweet gig at manufacturing company. 150 employees. Recently bought out by woke parent corporation. My job is to fix their backwards workplace culture. Easy paycheck and great resume material. They book me for their quarterly staff meeting. Whole Friday afternoon is mine. Workshop on toxic workplace dynamics. This is my third session with them. First two went about as well as expected. Lots of defensive body language. Some guys straight up rolling eyes. But that is the job. Resistance means I am hitting the right spots. Show up to the meeting room. Spent forever getting chairs arranged in a circle. No hiding in the back rows today. Vulnerability is the whole point. About 35 guys filter in, looking like they would rather be anywhere else. Recognize most faces by now. There is Dave, the floor supervisor, mid-40s, always polite but never really participates. Marcus, the younger logistics guy, usually tries to give safe answers. And Steve, the senior operations manager, made it very clear he thinks these sessions are garbage. Start with my usual opener. Good afternoon, everyone. I know we would all rather be done early, so let us make this interactive. Total silence. The classic opening freeze. Pull up first slide. Today, we are examining how patriarchal norms create harmful workplace patterns. I want us to go deep, get personal, really interrogate where these beliefs come from. Marcus raises hand. Do we get overtime for this? Few guys laugh. I keep smiling. The real compensation is growing as professionals. Try a different approach. Let us go around the circle. When you think about masculinity in your upbringing, what messages did you get about how men should behave? Guy after guy gives bland answers. Work hard, support your family, be reliable, nothing I can actually use. One dude says, take responsibility. Another says, be on time. 40 minutes in. This thing is dying. Tried like 5 different techniques. Getting absolutely nothing. Can feel the whole session slipping away. Decide to create a breakthrough moment. Sometimes you have to shake people up. Turn to Dave. He is sitting there, arms crossed, face blank. Dave, you have been very quiet. Can you share a time you felt pressured to perform masculinity here? Not really, he says. Come on, there must be something. This is a safe space. I am good, thanks. Whole room watching now. Feel the resistance hardening. Know if I let him off, I lose all momentum. Let me reframe this. Soften my voice a bit. When did your father's expectations affect your emotional openness? How did that shape you as a manager? Something flickers across Dave's face. My dad passed when I was 21, he says quietly. So I would rather not. Room goes ice cold. Literally feel it in my bones. Oh, I say. Should have stopped right there. Should have apologized and moved on. But my brain is in workshop mode. And workshop mode does not do pauses. And is that not heartbreaking? That toxic masculine culture made him feel he had to sacrifice his safety to provide. And now that cycle of Steve stands up, just stands, chair scraping loud, walks straight out. Then another guy gets up, then 3 more. Dave staring at me. Not angry, something worse. Disappointment, maybe. Are we done here? Someone asks. Check the clock. Still have 40 minutes left. We should really process what just. But guys, already leaving. Marcus gives me this sorry shrug as he goes. Dave is one of the last out. As he passes me, he says, "You should have read those employee profiles I sent." Then I am alone. Circle of empty chairs, PowerPoint still glowing behind me. Tell myself it is fine. People walk out of hard conversations, means you are challenging them. That is growth. But my hands shaking when I pack up. Sit in my car for 20 minutes. Keep replaying the moment. Dave's face when I brought up his dad. The way Steve just stood without a word. Like I was not even worth arguing with. Pull out phone, start email to my old professor. Had a real breakthrough today. Really pushed past resistance. Stare at it. Delete it. 2 weeks later. Back at their main office for mandatory follow-up. Monday morning, 9 a.m. Prepared hard for this one. New presentation called Moving Forward, Building Trust After Difficult Moments. Carefully worded opening that acknowledges the lodge incident, without actually apologizing. Because apologizing validates their reaction. Get there 15 minutes early. By 9, all 35 guys filed in. Perfect attendance. That is weird. Something is off. They are too calm, too organized, sitting up straight, hands folded, faces completely blank. No coffee, no phones, no talking, just 35 dudes sitting there waiting. Good morning, I say, trying to sound energetic. Thanks for being here. I know the lodge was rough. Want to use today to rebuild. Silence. So what does accountability look like in this space? More silence. Not awkward silence. Not hostile silence. Just nothing. 35 pairs of eyes on me or past me. Expressions empty. Wait 30 seconds. Feels like forever. Anyone. Marcus, you usually participate. Marcus looks right at me. No, ma'am. He never called me ma'am before. Okay, I say, slowly. Dave, how about you? I am good, Tom says. Try 6 more questions. Get nothing. Move to PowerPoint. Slides about restorative communication. Building brave spaces. Reading them out while 35 statues sit there. Let us try small groups. Probably sound desperate. Break into 5s and discuss how we can bridge differences. They rearrange into groups. Sit there in clusters. Silent. Walk between tables. You need to actually talk. Nothing. Stop at one group. Steve, you clearly have thoughts. Share with your group. Steve looks up. I am listening to the presentation, ma'am. There it is again. Ma'am. Feel sweat under my shirt. This is not resistance. Resistance I can handle. This is something else. Coordinated. Go back to front. Abandon small groups. Okay, clearly we need to address this. You are all here, but not participating? That is not engagement. That is passive aggression. Guy raises hand. Do not know his name. Middle-aged. Yes. Are we required to speak? He asks. Well, no, but the whole point. So we are participating by being here and listening. Technically, yes, but... He nods. Goes back to blank stare. Try softer voice. Look, I know I hit a nerve at the lodge. That was not my intent. But we cannot grow if we shut down when uncomfortable. Research shows men especially struggle with emotional regulation when 35 stone faces. Check clock. Been going 45 minutes. Feels like years. You know what? Let us take 10 minutes. They file out. Silent. Orderly. Like a funeral. Stand alone staring at useless PowerPoint. Feel panic crawling up throat. This was supposed to be my showcase contract. Leverage into bigger clients. Speaking gigs. Maybe a book. Instead, lecturing mannequins. Catch Dave in hallway during break. Drop the consultant voice. What the hell is this? He turns, not surprised. What is what? This. The silence. Are you telling them not to talk? Nope. Starts walking to office. I follow. Dave, come on. 35 guys all go mute at the same time. Reaches office, hesitates, Waves me in, closes door. You want the truth? He asks. Yes. After the lodge guys talked, you went after my dead dad to prove a point about toxic masculinity. We decided we are done engaging. You want us in the room. Fine. Company says we have to be there, but we are not giving you ammo anymore. Feel my face burning. That is not what I was doing. I was trying to create dialogue about how my dad's death was caused by patriarchy or some bullshit. Yeah, I got that. I was making a broader point about how cultural expectations. Jessica, he says my name tired. My dad died because a forklift operator screwed up a safety protocol. Not because of masculinity. Someone did not do their job. But you needed it to fit your theory. That is not fair. You did not even read the employee files I sent. Asked about my father's expectations when he has been dead for 24 years. Know how I know you did not read them? Because it is in the second paragraph. Stomach drops. I had skimmed those files. Meant to go back. Look, I tried. I apologized for. No, you did not. You said you acknowledged different perspectives. That is not an apology. Fine. I am sorry. Can we move past this? Dave sits on desk edge. Here is the thing. You keep saying we need to be vulnerable with you. Open up. Examine ourselves. But you are not safe. Second, we give you something real. You weaponize it. Dave's dad died. Perfect example for my slide. Everything becomes evidence for the conclusion you already had. This is a hostile work environment, I say. Sounds weak even to me. We are sitting quietly listening to your presentation. How is that hostile? You are deliberately sabotaging. We are doing exactly what you asked. We are present, listening, not arguing or disrupting. If that is sabotage, maybe the problem is not us. I could talk to HR about this. Go ahead. Tell them we are too quiet. See how that goes. Pulls out phone, taps a few times, turns screen toward me. Does not hand it over. Just shows. Group text. 38 participants. Messages from last 2 weeks. Silent treatment round 3, pass it on. Confirmed not one word. She cannot write us up for listening. Finally. Found something she cannot weaponize. Let us see her try to get promoted off this. That last one stings different. Dave sees my face. Yeah, he says. We know this is about your career. That is fine. But we are not your stepping stones. Not after you made my father's death a teachable moment. Cannot speak. Air feels thick. They are probably heading back, he says. Pockets phone. You should go finish. Walk back to conference room in a fog. Already there. Same seats, same positions. Waiting. Try to power through. Really try. Play video about inclusive leadership. They watch. Silent. Eyes forward. Try different approach. Share my own story about facing resistance. Hoping vulnerability inspires vulnerability. Nothing. At 11, something snaps. You know what? This is exactly the problem. Voice sharper than I meant. You are all so threatened by self-examination you shut down like children. This is textbook fragile masculinity. You cannot handle even the suggestion you might need. Growth. Breathing hard. Pulse in temples. Steve raises hand. Finally. A reaction. Yes, Steve. Can I be excused? I have a site check at 11:30. Hope dies. We are not done. Session ends at 11:30. It is 11:03. Asking to leave 27 minutes early for work. Am I allowed? Procedurally, have no grounds to refuse. Fine. Steve stands, pushes chair in carefully, leaves. Another hand. I also have a thing at 11:30. Then another hand. Another. Watch them leave one by one. Professional. Orderly. Each guy pushing chair in, some nodding politely as they pass. Almost worse than anger. The politeness. The careful respect that means nothing. Marcus, one of the last. Pauses at door. Think he might say something. Break ranks. Just gives that same sorry shrug. Leaves. Guys who stay, maybe 15 of them, sit like stone. Try to keep going. Pull up another slide. Voice sounds hollow. Talking about accountability to men who made me irrelevant. At 11:28 say, I think we can wrap early. Silence that follows different. Has weight. Finality. Look around room. Faces I studied in files I skimmed. Marcus supporting his sister through rehab. Steve been with company since he was 24. Worked up from machine operator. Dave, whose intake form said hobbies were coaching Little League and fishing. Real people. Not case studies. Not portfolio examples. Just men who found a way to make me irrelevant without saying a word. I turned them into theory. They turned me into background noise. Nobody moves until exactly 11:30. Then stand in unison. Like rehearsed. File out. Stand at front. Laptop showing slide about building bridges through brave conversation. Feel something crumble inside. Phone buzzes. Email from their HR director. Hi, Jessica. Do you have time for call this afternoon? Want to discuss engagement strategy moving forward. Thanks, Linda. Know what that means. That evening alone in apartment. Pull up original contract proposal. Read my own words. My methodology creates measurable culture change through sustained engagement. Participants report increased awareness and deeper commitment to inclusive practices. Think about 35 men in perfect silence. Think about Dave's father, dead 24 years. Reduced to talking point, I did not fact-check. Think about Steve's hand and the hope I felt for half a second. Close laptop. Pour wine I do not want. Call with Linda 2 days later. Concluding contract early by mutual agreement. Paying me through month end. Going different direction with DEI initiatives. Already hired firm specializing in male-dominated industries. Professional, polite, done. Say I understand. Thank each other. Hang up. Stare at phone. 6-month contract done in 3. No portfolio piece. No referrals. No case study. Just memory of 35 men who found the one resistance I could not punish. 3 weeks later, meet Sarah at coffee shop. Wednesday afternoon. Mostly empty. Sarah, my grad school friend. Progressive, smart, always supportive. So I survived the most toxic workplace ever, I say. Manufacturing company, literally weaponized silence against me. Psychological warfare. Walk her through it. The retreat. Coordinated silent treatment. Humiliating final session. Frame it as institutional resistance. Fragile men who could not handle challenge. Sarah listens, stirring tea. When I finish, she is quiet. Did you ever apologize? She asks. For the thing about Dave's dad? I acknowledged different perspectives. Jess, did you say I am sorry? Feel something twist. Point is, they should have moved past one awkward moment. I was creating space for vulnerability. They turned it into coordinated attack. But it sounds like Sarah choosing words carefully. Maybe they did not feel safe with you. Like if someone used my trauma to make political point. It was not like that. Was it not, though? Coffee shop too warm suddenly. So you are saying it is my fault grown men cannot self-reflect. Saying maybe your approach was not working. Instead of adjusting, you doubled down. Want to argue? Explain how resistance is the process. Discomfort means growth. Boundaries need pushing for change. But keep seeing Dave's face. Moment I mentioned his father's expectations. Something dying behind his eyes. They sabotaged me, I say. Comes out weak. Sarah reaches across table. Squeezes hand. Maybe. Or maybe they were protecting themselves the only way they could. Leave 20 minutes later. Her words circling. That evening, sit with laptop. Draft message for professional women's group. About surviving hostile environment. Unique challenges of DEEI work in resistant spaces. Finger hovers over send. Think about group text Dave showed. She cannot write us up for listening. The relief in that. The unity. Close draft. Open new tab. Google DEI consulting jobs. Scroll listings. See experience with resistant populations. Proven track record of measurable change. See salary ranges I cannot command anymore. Close tab. Open email. Professional thank you from company HR still there. We appreciate your efforts and wish you best. Translation, do not use us as reference. Sit in dark apartment. Laptop glowing. Weight of something I cannot name. Not quite regret. Not quite understanding. Just uncomfortable awareness I might have been wrong. Settling like dust. Think about Dave. How he said you are not safe. How I heard attack instead of information. Phone buzzes. Text from mom. How is the big contract going? Stare at it. Start typing great, really transformative. Delete. Type actually it ended early. Delete. Finally write, I will call this weekend. Close laptop. Sit in dark. For first time in weeks, do not reach for explanation that makes me the hero. Just sit with it. The silence.